And this is a new initiative for us in building the future. We believe there are beautiful things that are happening in Israel, and unfortunately not always people know about it, because there are many things that you know about Israel, but beneath, I think, behind or besides all the stories that you probably hear in the news, there are good people, I think wonderful people, who are doing anything that in their power to change the world for better. And especially in the healthcare. So what we are going to do in the coming months, we are going to present to you some of the work that is being done in Israel, mainly in the medical field, but also beyond that, about what we are doing right now to build a better future, definitely for Israel, but for the Jewish community, but beyond that, for the whole world. So today, I have the great pleasure and a real joy for me personally to start the series with a good, very, very precious friend of mine, Noah MOZES, which we only met about 2 years ago, less than 2 years, but became very close friends, I think, quite quickly, if I may say, because she's such a delightful, person, and she has so much charisma, and she has a great vision, and she's working towards that. And I think right now she's serving as the Chief Digital Officer of the Tel Aviv SOURASKY Medical Center and Entrepreneurship. And she's going to present to us what is really happening, and she's going to take us through a very, very interesting journey of I think, a newcomer to the industry, and also to the medical field, and beyond that to the hospital. And she started her journey, I think, only a few months before the corona. She's going to tell us everything that is happening over there. And then she hopefully will share with us, if she will be willing, in the end of the conversation, her personal view regarding healthcare and the initiative that is involved in, and that she is aspiring to assist flourishing in the future. So, Noah, cool. Please. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. It's
a
great honor as well.
Can you tell us a little bit very quickly about your background and how come? Because you had so many opportunities, and you were totally, if I'm not mistaken, you were in the finance business, which is so different than the medical. How come you did this transformation?
I think my dream was to be a psychologist.
Wow.
But I have a Polish mom, so you had to do things a different way. So I started in the financial industry, as you mentioned, and I started working for Bank Hapoalim. I had a 10 years career at Bank Hapoalim.
Wow.
Started as a trader, trading
Bank
room.
Hapoalim is the largest one in Israel, am I not mistaken?
The largest bank in Israel, yeah. After 4 years in the trading room, I got a great opportunity in London to do the same thing, but I realized that it's not my passion. And at that certain point, we have established the innovation division in Bank Hapoalim, where our mission was to build the bank of the future. And I got the opportunity to be a part of a great team that built this division. That we started. We were like 6 people, and now it's one of the biggest divisions in the bank. We built Beat, which is the
Oh wow! Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, wonderful. Cool. So one morning you wake up, you're supposed to go to London, the city of light or whatever, and you make a decision not to go. Wow, it's a very brave one.
Yeah, it was super brave. It was a week before I was supposed to move there.
Wow.
I work for JP Morgan, which is one of the largest banks in the world.
Wow, and you simply called them, you announced and said, listen, I'm not coming? Wow.
Literally, yeah. It was that way because suddenly I felt that I should do things different.
Wow, very courageous.
And
very courageous.
And I signed up to a degree in psychology at the same moment that I called them, and joined the innovation division of the bank.
Wow.
And I decided to do something with my passion. So I approached to GEA, which is one of the main mental health centers in Israel. And I asked them, I went to visit to see how I'd feel, because visiting that kind of a place can be tough.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Yeah, so I arrived, and the CEO of the hospital, which is one of my greatest mentors still this day, Professor Gil Zaltzman. He's a psychiatrist, and he's amazing.
Wow.
So he took me to a tour in the hospital. I experienced different feelings there. It's not simple. But the moment I left there, I knew it's the field that I should be in. So I asked him to volunteer for the hospital, and he agreed finally. And he let me mentor a teenager who went through a very tough period.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, it was one of the most powerful periods that I experienced.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Wow.
And while I did this volunteering, studying psychology, and working for the innovation division of Bank Hapoalim, I thought how I can combine the whole thing. And then I suggested that we'll build like an innovation, not division, but a small innovation group within the hospital. And the CEO of GEA agreed. We started doing all the innovation committee and doing a lot of projects that helped also prevent suicides and other amazing things. Yeah, that we did together with the academy, the ecosystem, and other things.
Marvelous.
It was amazing. And that's when I realized that that's the place I should be in, the combination between healthcare and technology in order to impact as many people as I can. And in Israel, the field of innovation within the healthcare industry only began. It was a new thing.
When was it?
It was, I think, 3 years ago.
Israel, everything is very rapid. The way you're saying it was a long time ago and it only started, it was...
Yeah.
So how did you come, how suddenly you got to Ichilov, you know, which is, if I'm not mistaken, one of the largest hospitals in Israel?
It's the second biggest hospital in Israel, largest hospital.
So how did you get there?
So I started researching the field of innovation. At the beginning, I saw... actually, I saw another hospital that started speaking about building an innovation center, and I connected them, and I started being in touch with the deputy CEO, and I started referring startups to him, and I saw that I have the touch to do that, and that I understand the field. And then he offered me a position, but like a day or two after that, I was approached by Professor Roni Gamzo, which is the CEO of Ichilov, Tel Aviv Medical Center.
Lucky him to get you, yeah.
Lucky me as well.
That's the best deal, you know, that everybody are extremely happy, yeah. Overjoyed, yeah.
And I came for our interview, and we had an immediate connection. We shared the same vision. He really wanted to take the hospital, the medical center, many steps further.
He only got the positioning? I mean, he only got into the role, or he was already there for a while?
Yeah, he was for a while, after being also the CEO of the Minister of Health.
Oh, okay, wonderful. So he's really,
He's a very great role model.
Yeah, he's a well-known, I think, persona in the field, not only in Israel, but beyond the borders, I believe, also globally, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Wonderful.
He also had the role of being the Corona Projector for a few months.
Wow.
So it was also,
So you were deep in the...
for a while, And the moment we met, we had like a half an hour talk on Friday morning, it was.
Okay.
And it just felt right. And
wonderful.
And he wanted to build a position of a CDO, of building the digital transformation of the hospital. And
then you
it was a great fit,
So this is about September, July 19, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's before the corona. A little bit, and then we met, and then we had our first meeting. You know, we wanted to do something together. So what was this? If I'm not mistaken, if I remember our meeting, you were totally overwhelmed, but with I think you were flourishing with happiness. And this was the time, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, that you created the vision with Professor Gamza, of course, and the team. What should be innovation in your ecosystem, in the hospital? So what was the vision before the corona?
So it seems like another life, the life before the corona.
Yeah, for all of us.
And 2 years at this field during the corona is like a decade, but
totally agree.
So before I arrived, AVIV already had many digital services. We had, and we still have, a lot of innovation. We have one of the main research centers with amazing people that lead these centers. So I'm very proud to be a part of a place that excels in a lot of fields within the healthcare industry. But when I came, I tried to do something a bit more strategic and long-term, like a 3 to 5 years plan, and try to also take the services we did have, but to like aggregate them and make some long-term services and bases, and to move some of our services to the cloud, and think about all the ground services that we can use in order to like move forward and take like we didn't mention it earlier, but we are the second largest hospital in Israel, and we take care of 4 million citizens.
Wow. Wow,
of,
that's a lot.
Gush Dan, that is the center of Israel.
Wow.
And we wanted to take that even beyond like the center of Israel, and to get to many other places.
Okay, so like from Israel, as we say in him, in the Jewish, it's written in the Torah, in the Bible, it's written that from Zion, the light is will be spreading. So in the sense that we will come a center of excellence, but not only for Israel, but for the whole world, in a sense, for the medical, if I understand correctly, or?
You understand correctly, as always, but one step before... Sorry. One step before taking our knowledge outside of Israel, there's other main areas in Israel that we want to extend our knowledge and our expertise to.
Which ones?
So, for example, like to the north, the south, to small places, and to different communities we have in Israel. And
if I understand correctly, of course, correct me if I'm wrong. If I understood right, so what you're saying is that you want the center of Israel, which is quite affluent and strong in many senses, economically, intellectually, and so forth, to assist the other parts of Israel that might be not as fortunate, meaning taking responsibility for, I would say, low-income communities, disadvantages in senses, in some senses. Am I right, or correct me if I'm wrong?
Yeah, you're definitely right.
So this is a social mission in a sense.
It's also a social mission, and we're one of the referral centers in Israel in main issues like oncology, neurology, other different matters. So I think that's one of our greatest missions, to help as many people as we can, and that's why we're building now some more buildings that can get more citizens to get the best treatment within our hospital, but also outside the hospital.
Can I just add some words for people who are not aware, are not really aware of the Israeli, I think, mentality, and I think it's important to know that Israel, in a sense, is one big family. And even though we have quite a hassle sometimes, and we have strong disagreement, I think, in the sense, I think that we feel that we share, I think, mutual responsibility, and I would say we are devoted to take care of all the Israelis and of the Jews, but of course beyond that. But I think you feel it when you live in Israel, the sense of community, and this is a part of it. So I think it's beautiful. I'm just saying it would have been much more easier to simply continue doing what you do, but you say no, we need to assist the disadvantaged. I think it's beautiful. So this was everything before the corona. Anything else was before the corona, or?
So we built this whole plan, strategy plan that was supposed to go with defined steps, and as you know, innovation doesn't happen in a second. It takes time, and we did build this fast track for quick wins that we were supposed to have during like the long period of building the digital strategy, and then came Corona.
Really? Yeah. Wow! To you as well.
Yeah, it happened. It happened to us as well.
So can you tell us, because we weren't in the hospital, and I think, of course, hospital were the center of, of I would say even fear or the sense of, I think of, I think the severeness of the situation. I think only people in the medical field and especially in hospital were the first one to grasp it beyond anyone else. So how were the first day? Can you tell us how was it? How did it feel the first day in the corona? And what were the implications regarding your role and the innovation in general? Can you take us through that?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, wonderful.
So at the beginning, as I think happened in most parts of the world, when the corona began, it was a lot of uncertainty, also in the hospital and out. I remember sitting with a professor that he said that almost like a large amount of the world will get infected by the virus.
Wow.
And I didn't get it. It seemed something super far. It's a name of a beer. Like what's going on now? And I always I took it in mind, but still I couldn't believe
with
it.
With a grain of salt.
It sounded too crazy to be true.
Yeah.
And so at the beginning, we continued doing everything as we did, and I think the panic exceeded very fast. Like it began here at the beginning of March.
Yeah.
And
12th of March, I think, was the tipping point in a sense. Yeah.
I remember a week beforehand because an event that occurred, but so I remember all the uncertainty also of our crew, of people stopped coming to the hospitals because they were
already
afraid.
A week before.
They were afraid to get infected.
Yeah.
And they didn't know what's going on and how to manage things. And I think that it really affected the innovation part, because doing innovation and digital within the healthcare industry seemed till 2 years ago as something that's nice to have, and not something that hospitals must have, because they're dealing with critical situations every single moment. Like they're dealing with people's lives. So digital is nice, but still, it's
of course.
It seemed to be like a great PR, and that's it.
Wow.
Kind of.
Yeah, no. I understand but I'm saying when you're saying people's life on the stake, so you do the weight and there. Yeah, definitely.
So when the corona occurred, I think the easiest thing to do was to push aside all the digital part and innovation, because the panic that was within the hospital and our management. I think that I took this work we did, the whole strategy work, and I really saw that a lot of parts could really be good for us at that moment and help, first of all, take down and help our citizens and and manage the uncertainty, and also help our crew, of course, doctors and sanitars and nurses. And
so how come suddenly, from the situation that, digital and, all this innovation, it's very good for, let's say, for peace days, not for war days, in a sense that, the corona, in a sense, fell, especially for Israeli, another war that you have to deal with. How come from being something that you neglect and you put aside, suddenly it became the center? I mean, what was, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like there was a mind shift. And what was the reasoning that suddenly this mind shift happens against all odds?
So I think very lucky to have a boss like mine, that he understands things very fast, and most of the time before other people do understand them.
Okay, wonderful.
And I remember this one Saturday, like a week after the corona started, I was during a yoga class, and I got like a call from his office, and he wanted me to come immediately and speak about our plan in digital. Like our digital plan.
It goes well
corona.
with breathing and center
amazing.
Within the yoga class, in line.
It was all these quick transformations, and
they keep saying, when you do deep meditation, they keep telling you be in the moment. So in the sense, you were called to be in the moment.
Definitely. Yeah. So he called me. Obviously, I went there with my yoga uniform. And,
okay, with your mat, you can do that. You can continue the class, yeah.
And we had this, I think, 10 minutes conversation where I presented the strategy we built and what we can implement immediately. And then, like he said, okay, go for it. Do everything you can. I remember I sat also with our amazing HR manager, and his name is Shabi Shamlo. He's really great.
Wonderful.
Yeah, he's a great part of our organization. And he tried to tell me to keep in mind our employees and not forget them within all the plan that we're building.
Interesting. Why? Why was it? I mean, of course, he is in HR, but were there specific issues that he was concerned with, especially regarding the corona and, how the organization is dealing with the corona? Can you elaborate that? Can you?
Yeah, so there were a few things.
Yeah.
The first and most basic one, people wanted to needed to get to the hospital to give care and to work, because like during the corona, people had to stay at home, but we are a critical center, so we had to keep going and doing things. But like all the public transportation didn't work, and like it was a problem to go to be more than 2 or 3 people in a bus or in a car or other things. So from basic things that we found that digital can help, like we approached Waze. Waze is, I think you can everybody knows
explain,
Waze.
But explain to people.
Is one of the largest navigation applications, but they also
worldwide, not
worldwide, But it's an Israeli initiative that Google
purchased,
took over, kind of. So we approached them and thought that they have a carpool service. So we thought about, but still also like people were afraid to go near other people, but still we thought that if we would build a community for our employees, it can be amazing.
Wonderful. So you created a community based on need, mutual need. Wow, that's wonderful. So I'm sure that there were unintended consequences, like people who never knew each other suddenly. So there were very positive outcomes that weren't even supposed to be a part of it, but I believe they were, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think this is one of the initiatives that we were able to maintain also, like post-COVID, or we're still in kind of COVID, but like last week we launched it again in a public event, and many employees signed to it and were amazingly willing to help other colleagues and know other colleagues, and I think it's amazing because we have something close to 8,000 employees.
Wow!
And it's like a huge community, and people live all over Israel, not only in the center of Israel.
I didn't know that. Okay, this is interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although we build a great employees building within the hospital, and a lot of employees have their apartments in the hospital, like in amazing building in the center of Tel Aviv, but still we're like we're spread in all Israel, around all Israel. So the initiative was really nice.
So this was the first initiative.
Yeah.
What was the second one that you did that you had to do? And if I'm not mistaken, Noah, you're very modest right now, but if I'm not mistaken, you had to do it very quickly. And I'm asking myself while you're speaking, how many hours of sleep did you have during these times? You and the team and that everybody, not For how long did it take you to create this initiative? From the minute that it was decided, then until it took off?
We had many initiatives.
No, I'm talking about this one. No,
the
this
ways,
one?
Every initiative we thought on, we had to implement it in a day or two tops.
Wow.
And that was one of the simple ones.
Wow.
So
Okay. Yeah, I'm saying, so let's proceed and go, from we're going from the lighter to the heavier one. So so what's the next one you think our audience would, it's important to share with them? Yeah.
So another basic and small initiative that we did, it was, as I mentioned, we have the building of employees, and all the cafes, restaurants, and food around were closed due to the situation. So we thought how we can get food and basic supplies to our employees, and we approached an amazing startup. It's not a startup anymore, but their name now is AVO. That they that they take centers in different organizations and centers, and employees can order whatever they want, from food to cream to anything they need, and bring them to a certain location. So as I said, our HR manager was all into it, so he helped us implement that also very quick.
Wonderful.
But then I think something that really did a huge impact to our community was many different companies that were amazing towards the healthcare system, and approached us and said that they want to help us do different initiatives that will help.
Wonderful.
And one of the biggest and amazing companies that approached me was Microsoft.
Oh,
I
wonderful.
think we all know them. Yeah, they are.
I believe even the listeners from all over the world know Microsoft. Yeah, beautiful company. There is a lot to learn, and they are really, doing a lot. Yeah,
they're doing a lot. We work with different companies. We work also with Amazon, with Google, as I mentioned. But still, Microsoft approached us, and Microsoft in Israel have an amazing research center, and they have they suggested that we will build a chatbot that can check different issues that people went through during Corona.
You're talking about patient. This was
It was for
patient-centric, or for doctors, or
mainly for patients. But still, everybody could use it to check whether they have Corona or not.
Wow.
And it was very early in the.
When was it?
Late March.
Wow.
So it was 2 weeks after everything started.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's an initiative that they started with the CDC from United States, so it was amazing. And one of our doctors that dealt with the Corona, Dr. Lubatao, was dedicated to this initiative, and we set for 2 days to build a whole protocol.
Wow.
That's very personalized, between ages and symptoms and other issues that people went through, and we still learned the whole thing because it was new. So
of course,
it was very inspiring and very I learned a lot from the process. It was amazing, and because everyone was busy, so I had to help them actually build this chatbot, and it was amazing. And we had over 1 million users in a month, and it was crazy. This chatbot also, we went to speak on TV, and we had a lot of items about it. It was
wonderful.
The CEO of Microsoft worldwide talked about this initiative in our medical center as one of the greatest innovation initiatives.
Wonderful. This is very extraordinary, and it also, I think, was relieving. Everybody was so anxious. There was so much anxiety. You don't know whether you have it, you don't have it. People didn't. I don't think anyone even knew what are going to be the results, and there was always this huge fear that it might be a deadly disease, and how can you treat it, and so forth. So there was so much unknown, especially in March. So that's beautiful. Okay, and then
it was so much unknown, and I think if I can say another sentence about it.
Of course, as much as you want. The floor is yours. No.
So I think it really helped also medical centers all over Israel, because patients knew more how to deal and how to manage their situation, whether they should stay at home, whether they should go immediately to get checked. And then we were approached from other centers that they wanted to use our brain that we built. We called it Coribot.
Coribot, okay.
Coribot. It's a famous bot now in Israel, yeah. And it was...
now it can be exported to other places in the world.
You can use it if you...
Okay, wonderful. I mean, even right now, for example, if I'm living in Thailand, can I go now into, your website and ask for my symptoms?
Yes, you can, but obviously it's in Hebrew because...
okay, because you wanted it to be very easy and accessible to all the population in Israel. Okay, exactly. Still beautiful.
After we implemented that, we sprinted to the next initiative, and I'm going back to our employees because I think that really our management was always focused of the balance between the citizens and our employees, and I think it's amazing.
I think it's amazing as well.
And we realized that this chatbot can really help also our employees to know, for example, how they should, what they should wear in every different situation. So, we built this flow and this protocol of how our employees should act. Because I'll go one step before we build this chatbot. We built this center where a lot of employees came to volunteer and answer different questions that our staff had, because they didn't know if they should, the mask was obvious, but still you had certain clothes. They didn't know if they can use their cell phone in the room of the patient, and if it's after that a dirty phone, or how they can speak with them. And then we thought that this I sat with them in this center. They had thousands of calls every day. They couldn't deal with that.
Yes, of course.
And we started writing questions, and it was very tough for them at the beginning, because they said, okay, we're in a critical situation. What do you want us now to sit down and write you an Excel with questions and answers? We can't do that. Yeah. So
it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, it sounds ridiculous.
The house is burning. What do you want us to clean the floor now?
Exactly.
It's,
Exactly. And then I told them I will sit with them, and I started with something very small, and they saw it gave a huge impact. So it was amazing, and we implemented those chatbots within a new app that also we implemented in 2 weeks, our employees app that it's amazing and did a huge difference. So we implemented all the things our employees needed in an app that we still have it. Obviously, it's one of also we got a big prize for this app that we built, our employees app. And I think that takes me to the next initiative that we had, because there were a lot of initiatives,
of course.
And when we spoke to get ready, you said that I spoke so fast and on so many things.
We will have another meeting. We will have another podcast.
So another initiative that we did, I think it was great, and also the corona obviously is a very tough situation, but for digital and innovation it was a super it's like
accelerator.
It's like taking innovation and digital, putting it on steroids, and you need to...
I love you. You see it running.
Yeah, I see it running. So as I said, our employees had to deal with the situation that they had to take care of patients, but it's dangerous to take care of patients and go near them. And as you all know, most of the world didn't, when a patient unfortunately died from COVID, he didn't get the honor to say goodbye to his family. Only
no
through the
farewell.
phone. But
No farewell. Yeah, it's heart-shattering, in any case, especially in the corona, but in general, not to be able to say goodbye to your loved one, and your loved one can tell you how much they love you and appreciate your being in their life. Yes, it's heart-shattering.
It's super hard, and I think that, so first of all, if we speak about that, our spokesperson, his name is Avi Shushan, was the first to stand up and say that that Ichilov will be the first place that family members will say goodbye to their loved ones. And it was spread worldwide.
Wow.
And it's not digital, it's innovative, it's not digital, but I think it's one of the most amazing initiatives.
Wow, because you can do it from all over. So how is it working?
So
I think this is crucial for. It goes beyond the corona. I think it's simply it's humanistic gesture.
Definitely.
And I think it's worthwhile listening and thinking, how can you use it in your country, in your situation?
I agree.
Sorry for stopping you.
No, you're totally right. And he found a way that family members can dress up and get themselves ready like our staff did. And then go in and say goodbye and be with their loved ones. And it was something that moved everybody worldwide, I think. And
yeah.
But going back to innovation and
yes, please
optimism, and so at the same situation, we looked for different systems that can help our staff deal and manage the situation, and then we met one of the systems of Elbit. It's also a big company in the Israeli industry. Most of they started in the IDF, but now they.
I think Israelis are very proud of Elbit. I think it's a wonderful company, and once you get to know the company, you see that they're doing a lot of very, very interesting and innovative things, far beyond their image of a weapon or a military company. So I urge all of the people who are interested in innovation to look up the company, because you're going to be surprised of what kind of offers they have. So
I agree. So Elbit was the second and another company that approached us and said they wanna, like they do in the field, like in the defense industry.
Interesting. Who was the one that picked the phone? Who was this person? I mean, the person. I'm not interested in. I mean, I don't want to be the. I mean, I'm not interested in the person. What was what was the role, and or how come they came to? What happened? Very interesting.
Yeah. So there's a manager in Elbit that he happens to be a friend of mine, and he was a part of building this new app they had. It's called White Bridge, and it's an app they used at the army at the beginning, like to manage very tough situations. And they were smart enough to understand that the corona and hospitals act like in war at the same time, as we said at the beginning of our conversation. And they thought that their app and their devices, actually the devices weren't theirs, but still it was a package, but they understood that it can help us manage the situation. And we implemented a pilot in one of our largest corona departments. It was like a normal department that we turned into a corona department. And we implemented this pilot that it was amazing. It helped the staff control what's happening, seeing where each and every one of the staff within the department, it's location based. So and also like all the conversation between the staff that were outside the corona section and inside. So if they needed help or if they needed anything, it was really
And I think the notion that you take care of your people, and because of this, they will be able to take care of others. I think in a sense, if I can just add something for our listeners, I think it's a kind of leadership that it's really crucial these days. And I just want to say that, we Israelis, most of us go to the army and we serve in the army. So in the army, there is this notion, there is usually the officer usually calls after me. And the sense of it meaning that I'm going into the battlefield, and then you come after me. I'm going to take the first bullet if it's needed. And I think this kind of leadership that is really, really needed, especially in times of hardship and, crisis. And unfortunately, Israelis we are quite accustomed, at least till now, to this situation. But in a sense, it's come very, very handy. So I think if I'm thinking about what all you're talking, I'm a listener. I think what impresses me, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you went, your manager, Professor Gamzo, dear Professor Gamzo, you and all the team, and moved very quickly from peace and, routine daily life to, I would say, crisis/war mindset, and worked accordingly. Do you think this is one of your strengths as an organization? Am I wrong? Tell me what you think about it.
So,
even though you're, in the hospital, you're always in a crisis. But I'm saying, there is always a sense of crisis. But I think, what do you think about that?
I have many thoughts about that subject. I think that, I think our organization is trying to always improve themselves in this area. And I know that the moment I came to the hospital and took this role, my managers, also Professor Ronnie Gamzo and Deputy CEO of the HR, Shabi Shamlo, as I said, and other main people from our management, always said we should keep in mind that digital and innovation is not only for our patients and not only for citizens and not only for our customers, because there are also good parts in the hospital, but also we need to take care of our employees. And it's always one of the main things that we have in our strategy. And if you ask them now if they are satisfied and happy, I'm pretty sure that many of them will say that not yet, but we are building, I think, one main product now that we're hoping we can launch in 4 months from now. A product we're doing with another amazing company. I can't.
It's okay. You can't reveal the name.
But I can't say the initiative, but it's something that will do a great impact for our staff, and also after that we would like to provide it to other hospitals. And I think that's one of the most amazing things in Ichilov, that as we started by saying that we like to share our knowledge, and I think that we're very focused on improving healthcare in Israel in general.
Open source innovation in the field.
I think that when we build products, we think about first of all, we start in a department, but we think about the whole hospital, and after that we think how other hospitals could use that. And I think that's something that's very special, because usually in every industry you have your competitor. So obviously we have ours, and every time we see who is first in what, but still I think that when we do something, we do like to share it and collaboration is of essence. Now, first of all, because I know we have still a lot to discuss, so first of all I was wondering whether you will be willing to join me for another podcast, of course, because we have such a long list of initiatives that we didn't even speak about. But I really, because if we can do it, okay? Of course, whatever you say.
We will do it. We will do it. We will have a second, the second phase, second part soon. But because I know Noah has a very deep passion for, I think, emotional well-being, I would like. Can you share? I want to use this, as a part of my gratitude. And in the second phase, we'll talk about all. But I want to give you the floor to speak about mental health and what you think about it. I think she has a wonderful vision, and I think it's very important for all of us. It's going to assist all of us to listen to this, please.
So I will do the connection from the last subject we spoke about. If you ask me if our employees are happy with things that are happening, so I think that Unfortunately, doctors are going through a lot of tough situation, mental situation, and we saw, I think it was a year ago, that 3 doctors ended their life in not in our hospital, but still in Israel, and it was very tough situation. I get all chill when I speak about it.
You know, it's a worldwide problem right now, and there is a very interesting study talking about the fact that this is not a burnout, but it's I think it's a moral issue, moral crisis, that they don't feel that they are capable to live up to the vow that they took upon themselves, and to give the service to the patient as they want to, because of different reasoning. So I think these are the best of our children, you know, the doctors, and we should take care of it. I think it's a very serious, because this is a moral imperative that we all have to deal with. Please, I'm with you. Sorry.
I agree. I totally agree. So I think that I got to the mental health not because I woke up one morning and dreamt about being a psychologist, although I think it's an amazing role and a great impact on other people's life. I went through something myself for a long period, like in my after the army, as I came out of the army. I had 5 years of a very tough situation I was dealing with, and I come from an amazing family and a very supportive parents, and from the outside everything seems always to be amazing. And I think that that's one of the main issues when someone is going through a mental health deal. So he wants to always keep it inside because he's ashamed, because the stigma around this subject is terrible. And I thought, because I came from a family that you always do things to help yourself and not stay in a bad situation, I thought that through helping others I could help myself. And
Wonderful.
Actually I read a great post about it last night.
By whom?
I'll send you after.
Okay,
that.
I'll be delighted, and we will post it from you.
Yeah, because I couldn't sleep from that.
I was
so excited, and I started reading.
Wonderful. So send it to me, and we will add it to the definitely.
So I thought that by helping others, I can help myself, and that's what happened, and that's why I started learning psychology. I went to volunteer at GEA, and I met this great mentor, Professor Gil Zaltzman, as I mentioned. I didn't say earlier, but I'm an athlete, and
she's very, very serious athlete. It's very hard when she's either running or swimming or on the bicycle. So I always have to catch when is this 5 minutes that she's drinking water in between, so I can speak with her
during that.
Yeah.
So
she's a long distance runner. She did some marathon. She did the triathlon. What else did you do that I forgot?
I just did during the Corona another initiative with the Ironman. That
Unbelievable!
I accomplished the full Ironman in September. Last September.
Wow! Kudos to you.
It's also a mental health issue, but yeah. So I met this great professor. He only started running, so I could give him my sense of running and mentor him with running.
Wow.
And I went running with him, and then he taught me everything he knew, and he gave me this opportunity to mentor this teenager that went through a very tough period.
Wow.
I can't get into it.
No, you shouldn't.
Obviously.
It's very, of course.
Yeah. But then I started learning this field more and more, and it really bothered me that if someone is going through, and I don't wish anyone going through cancer or any other disease, it became kind of sexy, people really want to help him and do anything they can do to make his life better and approach him, and it's amazing. But when someone will go through depression, eating disorders, mania depressia, any other mental health issue, everybody would go very far away from him because it's dangerous. They can get infected from him. And it really, really bothered me. And I think that we thought in GEA, we thought how by digital and technology we can download all the bad feelings and the stigma that's going through that. And one of an amazing initiatives that they did, it's very innovative. It's not digital, but still, they started selling pills against stigma.
Wow.
Yeah. That's something that Gia did.
Wow.
They sold it in all branches of Superfarm, which is the largest pharmacy in Israel. And it was an amazing approach and something, but really, I think that this issue is something that we really need to pay attention to.
Yes.
And that if people will feel more convenient to approach to get help in earlier point where they experience something, a lot of things can be different. And
I think so, yeah. Just to give you an idea, I think Dr. Brené Brown is speaking a lot about that, and that shame and guilt, really is, I would say, another problem. There are some problems that are really rooted in, especially in the Western society, but not only, and they are simply malignant, and we should be very cautious about that, and we should take care of it. And I think this is in line with fear of being unacceptable, socially unacceptability. So I think we should take care of it. I think it's a universal problem. It's not a local problem. I think it's all over. I think it has to do mainly, unfortunately, with women, but not only with women. And I think that what Brené Brown taught us is the expression of guilt and shame is different between the gender, but still it exists in both of them. And I think you nail it. I think it's very important. And I think also, if I correctly if I'm wrong, but we had some discussion, I think you should start from very early age and not to get to your 20s and then only start to deal with it. So what is your vision? If you had all, Bill Gates is calling you tomorrow, Melinda Gates is calling you tomorrow. She says, take the initiative. Let's speak about, mental health and shame and guilt. What would you do about it?
So, good thing you asked.
Because she only called you yesterday.
Yeah, I got this call last night also during...
Oh my God, you had a very interesting evening.
Yeah, but the markets went down yesterday, so
I'm so sorry.
I don't think he was in the mood to call me.
But Melinda was.
Because he doesn't care. No, just kidding.
No. I'm meaning she had the time to call you. Yeah.
And I think that a few years ago I started working on this initiative that was supposed to let mental health therapy be something like an everyday therapy, as you said earlier. And I think that there are different ways to take care of yourself and different methods that you don't need to go to a psychologist or psychiatrist for a long session or to even drive to him. And we see a lot of different startups that not startups already. You have Talkspace in the United States, that's a company of over $500 million company. Wow. And they are like a P2P company for mental health care. But I think, and my vision is something a bit wider. I think that your whole well-being is something people should know how to approach and take care of. You can't take care only on your physical situation. As I said, I have a Polish mom, so going to doctors is something we do daily basis. And you can only go to doctors and only do these checks and blood tests every half a year, and I hope everybody does that.
Yeah.
You need also to take care of your mental situation and your well-being situation, the whole well-being situation. And actually,
so you want to have a set of tests to check what is your mental
I don't think we should have a lot of tests as much as have different methods to monitor and to do like
monitor.
And monitor.
Like a quantified self of the mental health.
Yeah.
Quantified self, meaning that it's I think it was coined by Kevin Cale, if I'm not mistaken, and this is a term that how you keep on monitoring your situation, physical and now mental situation 24/7, if I'm not mistaken. This is the idea. Well, that's wonderful.
And I met actually two amazing companies that I think can help do the change. The first one is IMNA. It's a company that came from I'm Not Alone.
Wow.
It's a company of two amazing people.
Israelis or?
Israelis,
yeah. Okay, wonderful.
And Israel Chaikin and Merav Naor, which they're trying to do a holistic solution for patients and for people, like for society, to put also like...
No, sorry.
to put their whole the whole well-being in one place.
Wow.
Also taking care of like issues of tough issues like and again, I don't I don't want anyone to go through hard situations, but also cancer, depression, anything they go through, but also for everyday
wonderful.
Like every one of us are in some point a patient, even for good things, you know, like the whole approach now is going to wellness, like to taking care of like people that are healthy and to prevent things. So they built a system, a holistic system that we can connect sensors that check and face recognition that can check pain in a very in an amazing way, and
perhaps we can ask them to come here and to speak about it.
They would love to. They became great friends of mine.
Oh, wonderful. So we can do it? Yeah, well.
Definitely. So I think like taking a holistic platform and having your whole mental and physical and all your situation in one place can be amazing. Also, it's a lot of data that we can keep on improving and learn from in the future, but also can help you manage different situations when they occur and take care of yourself also, and not like wait for the doctor.
Wonderful, yeah.
So that's
pre-maintenance.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay. And the second one?
And the second one is a company that I started. I met them actually when I volunteered at GEA. I met their CEO, Ziv, and he used to work for Elminda, which is a company that have this the electrodes you put on your head, and they can check and help deal and manage different mental situations. I think if I may say, like in a sentence, every second people we meet go through a mental health issue and we don't even know, because they're trying to hide it. And when they try to hide and like smile on the outside and act like everything is amazing, but they feel really bad in the inside, it makes the situation even tougher for them. So he built these electrodes, and this therapy was only like in hospitals, electrodes that can also check what you're going through when you sleep, because that's one of the main parts of our day. A lot of things happen in our mind during our sleep, and also like for muscles and different methods. So they build this like tattoo that you put on your skin with mini electrodes. And they have this ability to get different measures from your skin.
Wonderful.
And also, like you can do all the night and sleep checks at home. Yeah.
Can we elaborate on that? Because unfortunately,
definitely.
I would like to hear more about this. So I just, first of all, want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It was wonderful being with you.
Thank you so much.
And I want to thank Lior, who was assisting us, and of course Oz, who created this beautiful house for us that we can really communicate to the world from it. And hopefully we'll see you soon here. Please look for us. You can see us on YouTube. You can see us on Facebook and LinkedIn and so forth. And this is, I think, the vision of how Israelis are building the future. I think a better future, a new world for all of us. Thank you for everything. See you soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
הרדיו החברתי הראשון. הכוח חוזר לאנשים.